Saturo Gojo. In Jujutsu Kaisen, hand signs are not merely gestures, but gateways to unparalleled power, and Satoru Gojo's mastery of them is unmatched. To activate his legendary domain expansion Unlimited Void, Gojo employs the Satra or Taishakuten-in hand seal. This gesture is inspired by Indra, the Hindu king of gods, a divine warrior symbolizing mastery, destruction, and salvation. Indra's mythological triumph over the demon Vritra to restore cosmic order reflects Gojo's role as both protector and destroyer in the world of sorcery. Gojo's hand sign, paired with the deliberate act of uncovering his 6 eyes, signals the unleashing of the limitless. This domain expansion traps his opponents in an overwhelming void of infinite knowledge, bombarding their senses with unending information. The result is pure immobilization, a paradox where the victim perceives everything yet can act on nothing, leaving them in a state of agonizing helplessness. Gojo's precise control over this technique is highlighted during the Shibuya Incident arc, where he activates Unlimited Void for a mere 0.2 seconds to spare non-sorcerers from its devastating effects. Beyond its raw power, the refinement of his domain, tightening its barriers and enhancing its effectiveness, solidifies his dominance. As Gojo pushes the boundaries of his abilities, his hand sign becomes a symbol not just of power, but of meticulous skill and control, cementing his position as the strongest sorcerer in the series. Ryomen Sukuna. Ryomen Sukuna, the king of curses, commands a domain expansion that reflects his dark supremacy, Malevolent Shrine. Central to activating this fearsome technique is Sukuna's use of the Enmaten or Yama hand seal, a gesture deeply rooted in Buddhist mythology. Yama, known as the king of hell, serves as the divine arbiter of karmic justice, judging souls and condemning the wicked to their fates, a symbolic parallel to the ruthless devastation of Malevolent Shrine. The domain itself manifests as a desecrated, eerie Buddhist shrine surrounded by dark waters and littered with bull-shaped skulls. Unlike most domains that rely on barriers, Malevolent Shrine's unique power extends up to 200 meters, making its guaranteed hit attacks inescapable. Within its range, Sukuna unleashes 2 types of slashing techniques: cleave and dismantle, cutting through everything indiscriminately except himself. The invocation of Yama, a deity who transitioned from human to divine judge, resonates with Sukuna's own transformation from human sorcerer to the king of curses, cementing the thematic connection between his hand gesture and the merciless destruction his domain embodies. Jogo, the hot-headed disaster spirit in Jujutsu Kaisen, channels the destructive power of fire and magma with his domain expansions. Interestingly, his hand sign is tied to Daikakuten, a multifaceted deity whose origins span Hinduism, Buddhism, and Japanese folklore. Known as Mahakala or the Great Black One, Daikakuten originates from the Hindu god Shiva, the Destroyer, who is intimately connected to time and the inevitable dissolution of all things. This destructive aspect was later absorbed into Buddhist traditions, where Mahakala became a fierce guardian deity. In Japanese culture, Daikakuten is one of the 7 lucky gods, symbolizing fortune, wealth, agriculture, and even war. However, Daikakuten's identity is a fusion of Shiva and the Japanese deity Okuninushi no Kami, a god associated with medicine, protective magic, and the underworld. This duality of prosperity and destruction mirrors Jogo's volatile nature, where his fiery wrath coexists with a desire for dominance and validation. The connection is particularly striking because Daikakuten's wrathful aspects align closely with Yogo's explosive temperament and destructive capabilities. Yet the irony lies in Daikakuten's associations with fortune and prosperity, which stand in stark contrast to Jogo's role as a harbinger of chaos. This dual symbolism makes Yogo's hand sign not only a representation of his devastating power, but also a nuanced nod to the cultural and mythological depths of his character. Megumi Fushiguro's hand sign, integral to his 10 Shadows technique and domain expansion Chimera Shadow Garden, carries deep symbolic significance. When summoning the fearsome Shikigami, Mahoraga, Megumi uses a gesture connected to Yakushi Nyorai, the Buddha of healing, known as Bhaisajja Guru in Sanskrit. In Buddhist traditions, Yakushi Nyorai is a protector and healer, invoked to overcome mental, physical, and spiritual afflictions. In Japan, this Buddha is also associated with memorial services for the departed, signifying renewal and transcendence, a potent parallel to Mahoraga's adaptive and resilient nature. Mahoraga itself, inspired by the Makora of Japanese mythology, represents one of the 12 heavenly generals who guard Yakushi Nyorai. This guardian aspect is reflected in the immense power and adaptability Mahoraga wields. Its spinning wheel symbolizes the ability to overcome any attack through continuous evolution, making it a being of unmatched tenacity and strength. The use of this hand seal by Megumi highlights the duality of his power, invoking a deity of healing and protection while summoning a creature of destruction and inevitability. Mahito's domain expansion, self-embodiment of perfection, is as chilling as it is intricate, with its activation rooted in symbolic hand signs that embody profound spiritual themes. The conjuration begins with tiny hands forming seals inside Mahito's mouth, creating a vast, blackened domain where his target appears trapped within giant hands clasped together in the shape of a flower, a haunting juxtaposition of serenity and dread. Mahito's domain relies on two distinct hand signs, each tied to powerful deities. The upper hand sign represents Nyorai, derived from Tathagata in the Pali Canon of Theravada Buddhism. Tathagata, often referring to Gautama Buddha, symbolizes transcendence, one who has overcome the human condition and escaped the endless cycle of rebirth and suffering. This hand sign underscores Mahito's warped philosophy of perfection through the transformation of souls, mirroring his belief in transcending the human form. The second hand sign invokes Kenjaku Myu, known as Mahamayuri in Mahayana and Vajrayana Buddhism. Mahamayuri, the peacock wisdom king, was originally a predatory peacock who preyed upon humans. Redeemed by the Buddha after renouncing its harmful ways, Mahamayuri became a protector deity and ally of the Buddha, assisting in various forms. This duality, predator turned protector, echoes Mahito's deceptive nature and his ability to reshape and corrupt others in service of his twisted goals. Mahito's use of these hand signs bridges his monstrous ambitions with deeply rooted spiritual symbolism, making his domain expansion a chilling blend of mythological reverence and pure malevolence. Dagon, one of the special grade cursed spirits aligned with Kenjaku, wields a powerful domain expansion called Horizon of the Captivating Skanda. This ability is activated through a hand sign deeply rooted in symbolism tied to the motif of the golden pouch, representing abundance and limitless potential. The seal's inspiration comes from Budai, also known as the Laughing Buddha, whose legendary sack is said to carry endless treasures. This connection is reflected in Dagon's domain, which conjures an infinite swarm of deadly Shikigami fish. In the Shibuya incident, Dagon fully unleashes this ability, summoning his domain in a moment of desperation after being cornered by Maki, Nanami, and Naobito. The palace-like environment of Horizon of the Captivating Skanda, already hinted at earlier in the series, transforms into a deadly battlefield where Shikigami materializes abruptly in the target's perception. These creatures, imperceptible until the moment they strike, deliver devastating attacks that devour their victims with precision. Dagon's hand sign, tied to Budai's imagery of boundless treasures, contrasts sharply with the terror he brings. While the golden pouch symbolizes wealth and abundance, in Dagon's hands it becomes a harbinger of destruction, manifesting a deadly feast of cursed energy. Naoya Zenin's Time Cell Moon Palace is a chilling display of projection sorcery at its peak, trapping opponents in a world where movement is reduced to single frames of animation. Each motion is governed by an unforgiving rule. Exceeding the 24-frame limit results in excruciating slashes across the body, as though the very act of movement tears reality itself. Central to this terrifying technique is the hand sign Naoya uses, invoking Gigaiten, a lesser-known Buddhist goddess and patroness of the arts. Known for her mastery of music and the creative disciplines, Gigaiten's association with beauty and artistry creates a sharp irony when paired with Naoya's sexist and disdainful attitude toward women. Yet in a grim twist, his use of her seal transforms his victims into grotesque works of art, their bodies ravaged by his sorcery. This stark juxtaposition of divine creativity and destructive malice makes Naoya's hand sign a dark emblem of his character, a master of deadly precision, turning his opponents into unwilling displays of his twisted artistry. Hakari Kinji's idle death gambler is the ultimate gamble, a domain expansion as thrilling as it is deadly. Imagine a colossal pachinko machine, its reels spinning with fate itself. One jackpot hit and Hakari is virtually unstoppable, basking in 4 minutes and 11 seconds of unlimited cursed energy. It's a high-octane game of chance, but for Hakari, it's also a declaration. fortune bends to his will. The secret to this audacious domain lies in Hakari's hand sign, invoking Benzaiten, the Buddhist goddess of music, wealth, and flow. As one of the revered 7 lucky gods, Benzaiten embodies the elegance of fortune and the unpredictability of creativity, perfectly mirroring Hakari's daring and eccentric style. But there's more to Benzaiten than luck. Rooted in Saraswati, her Hindu counterpart, she also governs knowledge and eloquence, a reminder that even chaos follows unseen rules. Some legends depict Benzaiten as a fierce protector armed with 8 divine weapons, a striking parallel to Hakari's resilience in battle. Through his hand sign, Hakari channels her spirit, transforming his domain into a battlefield where strategy meets showmanship. Kenjaku. The enigmatic and sinister Kenjaku takes center stage in Jujutsu Kaisen with his devastating domain expansion, Womb Profusion. This eradication curse manifests as a towering pillar of cursed spirits, an unstoppable force of destruction that annihilates anything it touches. Its horrifying power was first unleashed in chapter 205, leaving Yuki Tsukumo gravely injured and showcasing the deadly precision of Kenjaku's techniques. What makes Kenjaku's hand sign even more intriguing is its origin. The anti-forked palm, one of the 18 sacred palm movements in esoteric Buddhism, traditionally used for meditation and focus. However, Kenjaku twists its meaning to reflect his mastery over all forms of sorcery and his unrelenting ambition. The absence of a divine reference in the anti-forked palm mirrors his godlike arrogance, as Kenjaku sees himself not as a worshipper of deities, but as their equal, or even their superior. This chilling hand sign encapsulates the essence of Kenjaku's character. A master manipulator, a scholar of forbidden arts, and a self-proclaimed god orchestrating chaos from the shadows. Yuta Okkotsu's mysterious domain expansion, Authentic Mutual Love, draws its essence from the powerful symbolism of Dakini, a figure steeped in spiritual and mythological significance. In Hindu and early Buddhist traditions, Dakini appears as a fierce, flesh-eating demon embodying the raw, untamed forces of nature. Over centuries, her image transformed, becoming a celestial goddess associated with energy, wisdom, and the transcendence of life and death. In tantric literature, Dakini is linked to one of the 6 chakras, representing the flow of enlightened energy within the human body. In Japan, Dakini evolved further into Daconaiten, a deity fused with Inari, the goddess of agriculture, often depicted as a celestial maiden riding a white fox. This rich blend of primal ferocity and divine grace mirrors Yuta's journey as a sorcerer, balancing overwhelming destructive power with the compassion and clarity of a protector. The hand seal invoking Dakini encapsulates this duality, channeling a force that transcends mortal boundaries. Through this connection, Yuta's domain expansion becomes more than a battle technique. It's a reflection of the relentless, transformative spirit of Dakini, wielded with precision and purpose against the darkest of foes. Ryu Ishigori, a formidable sorcerer resurrected over 400 years ago by Kenjaku, epitomizes the relentless hunger for battle. At the heart of Ishigori's power lies his hand seal, which draws inspiration from Mahamayuri, the peacock wisdom queen of Chinese Buddhism. Mahamayuri, whose name translates to Great Peacock, is a revered female bodhisattva, often depicted with 3 faces and 4 arms. Her image is deeply symbolic. Peacocks, known for consuming poisonous creatures like cobras, represent purification and resilience. This connection made Mahamayuri a divine protector against physical and spiritual poisons, shielding her followers from pain, disaster, and malice. Mahamayuri's benevolence is not without complexity. In Journey to the West, she famously curses the king of Juzi to endure 3 years of lovesickness, highlighting her enigmatic blend of compassion and retribution. Her multifaceted nature mirrors Ishigori's relentless combat drive, blending destructive intensity with a deeper, almost spiritual hunger for fulfillment. Through this connection, Ishigori's hand seal becomes more than a tool of battle. It's a channeling of Mahamayuri's transformative power, balancing destruction with the potential for renewal. Takako Uro, a jujutsu sorcerer from a millennium ago and once an assassin for the Fujiwara clan, made a dramatic return in Jujutsu Kaisen. In chapter 179, her attempt to deploy her domain expansion was thwarted when it clashed with those of Ryu and Yuta. Her hand sign alludes to Jinja Taisho, also known as Amrita Kundali, a powerful desert deity and guardian. Revered as a healer and protector against demons, Jinja Taisho is said to have aided Xuanzang's pilgrimage in Journey to the west. As a wrathful manifestation of Ratnasambhava, the Buddha of equality, and linked to Akasagarbha, the deity symbolizes the destruction of greed and pride. He is also tied to the mythical nectar of immortality, emphasizing his role as a divine force of balance and renewal. That wraps up our look at the hand signs for today. So which hand sign do you find most fascinating and why? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and see ya!